something that's real. Tell me how you really feel. Now that you hearing the thrill. I was all on my own. Now we're looking made it home. Spit the dish up from the dome. I look at we gone, and this is the thrill. Welcome to the thrill. Give me something that's real. Tell me how you.
Oh, that's so
sweet.
Gotta get the lint out of your throat.
I'm trying to get all this salt water out of me, man. Just getting back off this cruise that we had.
Did you jump overboard? You were so happy.
I was so excited I fell overboard. It wasn't even a jump. I was like, yeah, just gone.
Glad to have you back, man. Glad to see these people. How y'all doing out there?
What's going on, my peoples? We've been moving. We've been grooving. I gotta say, man, that I definitely have loved what we had going on last week, guys. The topic was nice, nice and juicy.
I love controversy. I love controversial titles. I like getting people going. I don't care what energy you bring, if it's negative, positive. If it gets eyes on what we're doing and it get views and likes and people are liking and subscribing and sharing with their friends, go for it. I'm down for a conversation, man.
Yeah, definitely. I was reading those comments when I got back and kind of going through a lot of it, and people had things to say. If you guys want to check it out, just go back after this video, go back and watch the last video and kind of see what was going on. Kind of if you missed it, just kind of leave it there for you guys to go see.
All of our goodness.
Yes, but I do want to jump into it because I got some stuff that was going on that I saw that I just figured I need to say it with my chest, and I need to go through this. I got
a funny one for y'all too, but you go right ahead, man.
So I wanted to kind of go through it. So, man, this is like some interesting news. So this is maybe borderline controversial, but we've already said we like to do controversy, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Florida, and we live here in Florida, us too. They finally got approved this new abortion ban. So did North Dakota. So those are the first two, at least that I have so far. There's more. Obviously, people just go ahead, drop comments in there and let us know. But from what I've seen in regards to this one, so Florida's ban is different from North Dakota. It is banned after 15 weeks. So and I'm just gonna double check it. Required proof. So yeah, they will need to be, if it's after the 15-week mark, you're not allowed to do an abortion unless it was, and this is where it's weird for me. It's controversial because they would have to show proof that they have been raped or have some sort of incest happen, molestation has had to happen. So, and they're saying that could be a police report or anything in that regards. The only issue I have with that is that most rape victims, most women don't really know that they're pregnant until they're like 2 months in, which are already borderline near that 15-week mark.
Right. And,
it's a very touchy part because you have to sit there and let these women go to a police station and report this, which is not easy. For anybody. I'm not even just gonna pinpoint for women, for a man too. I know it's weird to say because men can't get raped. Yeah, you'd be surprised. It happens.
Heavy in the army,
and
in the military. I don't want to segregate.
Don't want to pinpoint anybody, but it's still a touchy thing because as a guy, and their viewpoint as a guy, it's like, well, you're a strong guy. How could you let that happen? It's like that weird image. For women, it's even more so where they feel like they should have been in control. They should have been the one to know what was happening. So it's kind of touchy. I think it's kind of rough. Listen, as a guy, I have no say what a woman does with their body. As my standpoint, is my personal viewpoint I've always had. I think that if a woman decides, hey, they want to abort for whatever their reason, unless it's unless it's just because you're being, what's the word I'm thinking? Like, I won't say loose, but like just you're not being careful and you're just.
Promiscuous.
I guess promiscuous is the word. I guess if you're being very promiscuous and you get knocked up and your go-to is, well, I'll just abort the baby. That is not that's a whole different argument. But if it was due to, I think, especially like due to rape, incest, stuff like that, that's a touchy thing to sit there and tell a woman, no, you can't. You have to sit there and raise this baby. Who knows? Well, like the psychological. That's a psychological thing that, now a woman who's, if it was a rape victim if they're a rape victim who saw the face of that person, and their baby grows up and looks just like that person, it's a tough subject. This is, it could lead to a lot of infant deaths because so many women, not that I condone it, but that, it's going to be a part where so many women look at this and go, like, I just can't raise this baby, or this baby goes to adoption or goes through the system, and it's tough to really sit there and say that. So I mean, Robbie, I don't know what your thoughts on it too is, but
I'm kind of seesaw on it. It just depends for me. One, I agree with you when it's at the end of the day, it's a woman's point of view. It's a woman's situation. It's a woman's choice to do so. But as a man, I feel like in certain circumstances, it's also the man's choice. If you are, boyfriend and girlfriend, you guys are, being promiscuous, and then you end up, conceiving, having a baby, speaking layman's terms, you get knocked up and you're having a baby, and the lady says, "Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the baby," and the man's like, "Yeah, I want to have this kid. I want to, grow up. I want to raise him, be a father, or whatever." You can't just say, "Oh, it's a woman's choice" at that point. I understand it's in my body and my choice, but the man obviously had something to do with it too. So it's circumstantial for me.
I can agree with that circumstance too, because I feel like if it's a relationship you're in, and
exactly,
it's a whole different argument. Then it needs to be a two-sided thing. Like,
it should be a mutual agreement in a sense, because you could actually divorce. If I don't sign those papers, you ain't going nowhere. Like,
exactly.
It's so it has to be a mutual agreement. Situations like rape, incest, that's a no-brainer. It's just like that's 100% her, the woman's call on that one, because a crime has been committed. To show that you need, to say that you need proof of it is hard, because, I've been offended, not to be all PC in, 2023, but I've, some people have said things to me, or I've heard that they've said things about me and it turned out to be true. And it's like, you're trying to figure out how you could confront that person, or, what you can do. Am I going to be confrontational? Am I going to be neutral? Am I going to be, try to be more of a negotiative kind of stance on it, in the sense of like, hey, let's just talk it out, or am I just gonna walk up to you and whoop your ass? I don't know how I'm gonna feel about just something that you said. So for someone to be raped or in an incestual situation, they say, "Oh, you need proof. You got to go to the doctor and get tested for certain situations." That you have to go to the police office.
The whole rape kit. You have to go through, as a woman, you have to go through so much.
I could only, I don't want to imagine how mentally, physically, and emotionally bearing that situation would be. So I think it takes it to another level where it's like, I know that people say, that they care, but me personally, if that's your life, from what I said from the last video, it's just like, yo, if you don't want to have that kid, that's your business. I don't care. I could give two less of the shit. There's so many people who have abortions. There's so many kids, unfortunately, who have abandoned their children, and they're in the system of orphanages, and they age out. There's hundreds of thousands of kids in America alone in the orphanage that,
not even
when they turn 18 and they age out, what are they gonna do? They, like, these places are nonprofit half the time. They don't have the funding. They're ridiculed. So for me, if a woman wants to have an abortion, go for it. I don't care about who's who and maybes and topics and, who could be the next president. Our president's in his 80s right now. So our last two presidents have been over the age of 65. And it's like, okay, so I'm gonna wait 50 years to see if your baby became president or not? No. It's
100%.
the choice of the family, a man and a woman, or in certain circumstances, if it's just a woman, to make that call. It's your life.
And another thing that, for Florida state, is that also another one that would okay for an abortion is if the woman's medical or is at a medical risk. So
if it's detrimental to her health.
Yes, there we go. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
So if it's detrimental to her,
that's
her
again, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and that's a no-brainer. But the other two, rape, incest, or even molestation, those are tough because you sit there and you have to go through the whole, rigmarole. And then granted, yes, you don't want to have false claims because it happens. There are women and even men who claim rape and never, that's never happened. It was consensual to all degree, but it's
at least put it. I don't know. I don't want to flip to any conclusions, but I mean, if you have a situation where somebody is claimed rape and you're having a baby, but then you have an abortion, but then you turn around and sue that person without any evidence, that ain't gonna fly. So I could see how they have to take extra steps because maybe it's from those signs where they say don't feed the animals. It's because somebody fed the animals and something bad happened. They don't put speed bumps and stop signs and traffic lights up just cause. It's because bad shit. They always wait until things happen and then they react. It's never a precursor to what could happen. It's always a situation of what did happen. So
as a lot of times it's done being reactive versus proactive. So
exactly, and you kind of have to be if you're making laws. You're gonna have to be because it's in laws to prevent what has been, what has happened and shouldn't have happened and cannot happen anymore. So you make a law to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So situations.
And here's because you said law, here's the flip part of it. So like I said, North Dakota also passed the bill as well. They are banning abortion up until 6 weeks of pregnancy.
Okay.
So a month and a half, a little over a month and a half. I'm not going to talk. Yeah. Not to cut you off, but also that is also in the cases of incest or rape. It's banned. So after 6 weeks, that's it. The baby's yours.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's really messed up. I think there's certain, like, if it's a crime, you need to give it more time than that because it's hard. The emotional, physical, and the mental threshold that you would be going, that it takes to fess up and say I was raped or I was this or I was that, and then you end up being pregnant, and now you got to put up all these documents to show, this is it, this is rape kit, It has to be almost instantaneous because I can only imagine the first thing when you get violated that you want to do is clean. You want to feel clean. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, you want to feel clean. That could take time, and that time could be of the essence in the sense of evidence that could save your life financially. You know how hard and how expensive it is to raise a child. Even expense in the sense of currency of anything, money, financially in a sense, but expensive emotionally. How much emotion are you gonna give up in your life having a baby that you didn't want from somebody who wasn't yours?
Exactly. For a man that you've never even met before or wanted even
and now by law it's your problem.
100%. It's like not mine and deal with it.
Yeah, now can you take this person to court now for raping you and now they're rape charges? Now you can't get any type of child support because he's on rape charges in jail. He's not making any money. So who's going to pay for that child? It's a vicious circle and it needs to be fine too. But we are talking about the Dakotas in Florida.
So they do need to look at those laws and Again, it is a touchy subject. It is something that I remember reading this. I was at work reading it. And I was going, what?
Yeah.
Because again, I'm as a guy, I always said like I've had that bitch ass motherfucker personality that like Dave Chappelle said. I'm a feminist in some ways than more.
You a bitch ass.
But I always felt that a woman has every right to make a decision with their body without consulting a man within due reason. Like again, if you're a married couple or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and you've made this decision, that is a decision that needs to be made with both of you guys. Because at the end of the day, as a guy, I think early on in my life, if I had that happen and the girl wouldn't have told me, I think I would have felt some type of way that I wasn't included. Would I have gone that way? I don't know, but at least include me in the conversation. So then at the end of the day, it's you're carrying the baby, but it's still both our DNA. So at least that respect, like, hey, like
it's not your choice, it's our choice.
Exactly. But in certain cases like rape, incest, all the other stuff, again, I also feel that
a lot longer than 6 weeks.
A lot longer than 6 weeks, and at the end of the day, it's still the woman's prerogative. It shouldn't be anything where a guy says, "Nope, you shouldn't do this." It's like if the argument is a religious belief, not everyone has a religious belief.
Yeah, exactly. It's a one nation under God kind of shit. It's like, but America's a melting pot of very many, many religions and standpoints on that religion. So you need to throw that book in a corner somewhere and go by science, go by common sense.
Yeah, and go by
that's what it was like 6 weeks, 15 weeks. Like, where are they getting the information in the sense of, it has, the fetus could have the baby could have a heartbeat. Okay, now. Is it declared murder? Because it has a heartbeat, or is it this?
And I think if I remember, if I read it right, a lot of it, like if they do it after the fact, they're gonna label that murder if a woman does it, and they're not only charging the woman, they're gonna charge the doctor too.
Yeah,
and revoke the doctor's license. So it's like it's triple effect. So it's a lot that goes in on it. I think it's. I mean, if anyone knows more on it, obviously jump in the comments, guys. We love to get more information on it. This is just whatever I found, and we're just kind of spewing some thoughts on it. But there was two other things. I know you said you have a story you want to tell, and I'm gonna let you get to it.
Go ahead. We got all day.
There was this one was kind of funny. I'm gonna change it up to a little bit more lighthearted on this one. It's kind of funny. It's kind of scary as if you're a parent, but it was kind of funny to me. So a school bus driver was charged after brake checking young students.
No, they need to don't charge him. They need to sit their ass down. Because I remember my bus drivers doing that. It's because we didn't sit our ass down.
We didn't sit down. Oh shit!
Sit your ass, and they don't just do that. They say, "Hey, sit down." Say, "Okay." Break check.
So I'm gonna read the story on this one. This one was I was at work on this one. I read this. I laughed hysterical. It says, okay, so a video from inside the bus, first obtained this week by station KRDO, captured the jolt that the Castle Rock Elementary School students faces in the back of this into the back of seats. Sorry, they wrote it weird. In front of them in Colorado Springs on March 1st. Brian Fitzgerald, who's 61 years old, the substitute bus driver who was dropping off the students ranging from kindergarten to 6th graders at the end of the school day, is heard in the footage berating the children before brake checking them. This is the quote that was said. "You guys need to be in your seats," Fitzgerald tells the pint-sized passengers, before adding, "You guys want to see how dangerous that is?" Fitzgerald slams on the brakes at 9 miles per hour. So he wasn't even going that fast. He was going 9 miles per hour.
He had courtesy.
The driver tells the students
60.
The driver tells the students, "Did you get that? That's why you need to be in your seats. Turn around and sit down properly. I am still 100% responsible for my actions in trying to both educate and control students on the bus," Fitzgerald conceded. "Being new driver, I did not make the best decisions, and if I were able to redo what I did, I would rethink my decisions. Fitzgerald has since been fired from his job and faces 30 misdemeanor charges of child abuse.
See, this is good. You know, I'm gonna go first actually, because this is 100% the parents' fault. I don't blame that bus driver whatsoever, because you going 9 miles per hour. Yeah, you could hurt somebody. You could hit somebody 5 miles per hour, and something can happen. But we talk about kindergarten, 6th grade. Everybody knows that 6th graders think they hot shit.
100%.
Everybody knows that 8th graders think they're on top of the world. They think seniors think they're unbreakable. Like, bus drivers, if you don't have the job, shut your mouth.
Facts.
I've seen many a time, and I have an uncle that's a bus driver, and he tells us some stories, man. And I'm like, yo, these kids, he made your mic drop. That's a bad news story.
Seriously.
But it's like kids just go out of their way, especially when you're in school and you go like substitute teachers and stuff like that. If I ever treated a teacher or faculty or staff or a grown-up at all, if they didn't do anything to me to harm me or to insult me, if I did anything to them in a negative way, my parents would whoop my ass, man.
100%.
And some of these kids, I don't care if you're in kindergarten, I don't care if you're in 6th grade. Some of these kids with their iPhones and their this and their bad attitudes and their hover moms and their bitch ass dads, they're over here. They hover get moms. Not everything. Yes, helicopter. They buy fuel every week to fuel that helicopter, man. And it's disgusting. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to have children, because I gotta raise a kid in an environment where you are surrounded by kids with their parents that think they deserve everything, and they don't deserve shit. And now I have to kind of confrontations with these parents. I'll go to jail the first week I have a kid. Like, I'll be whooping ass left and right. Don't tell me how to raise a kid. Like, fuck, nah, man. It's just sensitive parents. And the bus driver, who's not even a bus driver, he's a substitute bus driver at that, in his 60s. And he has to deal with your shitty kids. And now he has 30 misdemeanors because your kids can't shut the fuck up and sit down.
I think that's the hardest part about it all.
That's not fair, man.
No, it's not. And it's the hardest part, because I feel I'm not a parent right now, but when you have a kid, especially once they're, and kindergartners, I'll give a little break too, because they're young. They really don't know, and most times they do follow directions. You get a bad egg here and there that is just stubborn, but it's not all of them. But like you said, that 5th grade, the 5th and 6th grade is 100%, because those are 5th graders are ready to go to the next level. The 6th graders are already at that level, so you know that they feel like their shit don't stink, kind of thing.
I'm wondering if this is like a preparatory school too, because you don't really see schools that have kindergarten through 6th grade. Yeah. So if it's like a public elementary school, it's not that range. So it must be a preparatory school with some type of charge.
100%. Yeah, they have to be that like prep or maybe like a Montessori style type of school where they kind of have that big range.
Christian college or something.
Yeah, but
college, Christian school.
It's pretty much college, man. Have you seen how to get some of these kids into the school? It's like you have to apply, donate, give some blood. You have to give a little bit of your kidney,
and you got to give to the church. On top of all that, weekly. There's a minimum quota.
100%. When I was reading, me and my wife were sitting there reading some of the stuff. I was like, "This, bro." I swear, I was like, "What in God's name are we doing?"
I don't have the kid, and I ain't spending money, but I'm dead already, man.
I was contemplating life on the end of that one. But no, honestly speaking, though, all jokes aside, a lot of these kids need to just. I said this at work. There's a lot of kids who haven't gotten their ass kicked, and it shows. And it's a big difference.
Discipline. Sometimes you don't even
like discipline.
Yeah. It's discipline. Like we say, you get your ass whooped, but like, half the time, like you don't even need to hit your child.
Sometimes this works.
Sometimes just little staring at it. you get that look, and you know that mom and dad mean business. Like when my niece and
100%.
nephews come over to our place, they know Uncle Robbie has one rule, and that rule is don't disrespect me. That is a broad spectrum, paint the wall rule. If it feels wrong and if it looks wrong, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna disrespect me. And if you disrespect my wife, you disrespect me. If you disrespect each other, you just disrespect me. Like and there's consequences to that. I don't need to hit you, you're not my child. But I can punish you. I have the right to do that. You're under my roof, and your parents have given me the liberty and the honor of taking care of you. But taking care of you also means to point you in the right direction when you're doing something stupid.
100%.
You know, so like, okay, you're not coming next time. And guess what? Next time we're going to Disney. You know, or like,
I'm gonna go.
I'll
take their ticket.
You know, or like, and sometimes I'll do that. I'd be like, oh, you want to act nasty? I'll tell your parents. Oh, Robbie, didn't you say that you're going to SeaWorld next week? Yes, I did. And I'm gonna take your ticket and I'm gonna give it to my other niece. Who cares? I take it from my nephew and I'm gonna give it to my niece, and she's gonna go in your place. And now you got to stay home with your dad while everybody else goes to SeaWorld.
100%.
And it makes most of the time you can't even hit a kid hard enough for that to equal how much they feel, like how embarrassed they feel.
Now you have to stay home while everyone else is having fun.
Yes, or you get to go, but you can't do anything. You just stay right next to your dad. That's even more embarrassing.
You know what's funny? So like, growing up, I was having this conversation at work because few of my coworkers are parents, and some of them have kids in like their teens. Some are like in their early, like maybe like 8 to 10 year range. And so we were talking. I said, you know, my dad had this look. My dad hit me a grand total of maybe 5 times. Maybe. My mom beat me like a dirty rug. My mom beat me like a dirty rug. I'm still getting beat. I'm 30 years old.
He's still dirty. Dirty ass. Wash your ass and you won't get beat so dirty.
So my dad, I'll never forget. I was sitting there. I was arguing back and forth with my brothers, and we're just, I mean, I was giving it to them, yelling at them. And then my mom came in and she's yelling at us to cut it out, but I'm still kind of going at it with my brothers. And I'll never forget. I'm sitting there and I went, you know what? And then when I remember going like this, and my dad just slowly, like that horror movie creeped in the scene. And
Mike Myers.
Yeah, he like Michael Myers his way into the living room very slowly and just enough. He didn't get full into view. It was that just enough that I kind of caught like this much of him. And I was like, and he just sat there, didn't yell, didn't raise his hand, didn't even like try to like, your dad used to be like, what? And he used to kind of flinch back. He just sat there. It looked like almost Kane. Like if Kane was coming to chokeslam me or Undertaker, he just very stoic, just sitting there like with a deep breath too.
Scary.
And I just was like, okay. I didn't do anything else. I remember patting my brother in the head and like, okay, all's forgiven.
All that testosterone with the all three. You're gonna tuck your sack back and go eat a sandwich.
Boy,
you better know.
My sack was so tucked, it was in my butthole, bro. That I had a damn. I didn't have balls anymore.
Goodness gracious. Yeah.
I think a lot of kids are missing that though. They're missing that part of the house where it's. I'm not saying every kid needs a smack, a belt. Sometimes it's just the look. Sometimes it's not even the conversation, because I think especially if you've beat the dead horse already and you sat there and listen, I told you not to act out again. What did I tell you in the last time? And sometimes you don't even have to say, you just gotta stare at them. I think when my mom used to say, go talk to your father, and I used to cry walking to him because I already knew
he
was gonna kill me. I said, he's gonna kill me. I'm gonna cry now, so then he won't touch me, because you're not gonna kill what's already been killed, right? I'm already crying. And my dad used to look, why are you crying? I haven't even hit you yet. And I used to be like
that word, yet.
You know what's the scary part of that? He wouldn't even hit me. When he said that comment, he would never even hit me. He would just say, I haven't even hit you yet. Why are you crying? I'm like, you got
catch your breath, boy.
your tears are going in your nose. The booger's coming out of the other side. The lip is in the back of your throat.
And all those fluids are going right in your mouth, and you don't care. You're just spitting and slobbering. You're too ugly to be hit.
Yeah, right. Like, and that's the whole idea. Is like you sitting there saying, "Oh, he won't hit me because I'm crying," and then my dad's like, "Cut it out." And then you get that line, this infamous line. I think every parent, it must be in the book when you become a parent, they must give you the book of all the shit to say to your kid. And this one, I'll ask Juvie and Monty if they got the same book. It was like,
probably.
Continue crying, I'll give you a reason to cry.
Yes.
It's like, Lord. I used to hate that, like, but I'm already crying. What? Why?
Bust out some nunchucks on it. I got hit with a nunchuck once. That was not.
I've never been that.
It was the first thing. My brother was like into karate when he was younger, and I did something stupid in his room. My dad came in. He was gonna spank me, and I guess like he reached, and when he reached, he looked. I guess to make sure he had the right distance. I don't know, but I was like maybe like 6, and
he beat the memory out of you a little bit.
Yeah, that's why my memory's so bad now. He beat the amnesia into my head. But he saw a nunchuck or nunchuck, sorry, and he just okay. It was one of those. It wasn't like metal or wood. It was hard plastic. It was like
like those like Ninja Turtle ones.
Deluxe. No, not the ones that you would get in like a Halloween costume thing, but like if you spent like a couple $100 on a Halloween costume, it was like the deluxe fake ones. So it was borderline real.
But it was oh shit.
Yeah. So when he swung and had the chain, but the chain was made out of like weird like
copper
cheap metal. Yeah, cheap metal. And he swung it. Bam! Ow. Yeah.
I think the worst thing I ever did one time with my dad. This is on one of the few times that my dad hit me. My dad swung the belt, and at this point, I thought my balls dropped, so I figured, oh, it's out of my asshole. I'm a man now, and he swung the belt, and I stupid ass caught it, and I went, and my dad went, oh yes, I like this, and was pulling me in. He was pulling me in, and I'm like, no. It was like nothing I could do. I was like, this is it. This is my obituary right here.
I can't have a boy child, man, because I feel sorry because growing up, I never really got hit often, but I got hit hard enough to know not to do that shit again. So I was just like, yeah, that's why I'm so wild and crazy now. I'm like, nobody's gonna hit me.
It's that Freebird syndrome. Like all of a sudden, yay, I can do it.
I never got hit for anything. I got talked to, but I would get hit for stupid shit. And I learned from a young age, don't do stupid shit. Don't say stupid shit. But as I got older and I'm an adult now, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'll say
what's funny is that I think even to this day, you know, a lot of times my dad, I joke about a lot of the beatings that we did get because we deserved them 100%. And you've known me and my brother, so 100% we all deserve it. But
you deserve beating now.
No, I don't. I'm a married man now, damn it. My wife can beat me. But
I'm telling niece to get the slipper. You did something this week. I know you did.
No, actually, I behaved. I was well behaved.
Yeah. 3 days into the week and you behave, motherfucker. Don't lie to me.
But where was I going with this?
Something about your past.
Oh no, this is where I was coming down back to it. I was gonna say that ultimately, though, like sometimes the beatings weren't what was memorable. A lot of times, it was the lectures that we got after the fact, and I think a lot of parents are saying, oh, you shouldn't hit the kid. You shouldn't hit the kid. But then what are we doing to teach them? What lecture are you giving? Are you even allowing them to be punished? Like, what is the repercussion to what they're doing? Because you can't blame the teacher if your child was swinging on the chandelier. And I'm saying, Billy, get off the chandelier.
Yeah. It's a catch-22 because you send your kids to school, they're majority of the day, but you don't give the teacher or that staff permission to discipline your kid without any physical action. I can understand.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't even have to be a physical. Just to let
no, that's for the parents. The parents could choose if they want to do physical. Obviously, I don't want to, teachers and staff hitting my kids, but
like if they're fighting with one thing where you have to separate them, but if it's just them talking back or being disrespectful or whatever, conversation, put them to detention, put them to whatever, call to the parents, whatever. But
you have a lot of stupid ass parents that think that their kids can do no wrong. They're just so blinded by the love, quote unquote, of their children. And it's like, you're not even reading into the situation. You're only picking one side. That's my child. I'm going to protect my child. Well, protect your child by disciplining your kid. By teaching them that what you do has an action whether your parents are around or not. Because society is looking at you. And if you want to get ahead in society, you better act right. You better do the right things. My
parents my today, mom and dad used to be
make friends out of their kids. There's no superiority anymore. Everyone my kid's my best friend. Fuck you. Like
I can honestly say you're
superior over your kids.
100%. And I can definitely say it was a fine line, but like my dad and me were really close. Not just because of age, but because we legitimately were really close. And and even with my mom too, I can definitely say that they are in a lot of ways my best friend. But it was because of the respect that I have for them, the confidence I have to speak with them on a lot of things, which was a working relationship as it is, because as a kid, you're growing up, you feel fearful sometimes to have certain conversations with your parents. There's certain conversations you just like, I don't know if I want to have this conversation with you yet. But for both my parents, I felt that I am very much like, there was a way of saying that they were my best friend and my parent, but there was also my disciplinaries. They were my warden. They were the judge, the jury, and executioner. I also knew that my dad said it to his dying day. My dad always said, I brought you into this world and I will take you out. And I believed him because those hands were strong. And I've seen what he's done to other people.
You better believe it. You better believe my dad's 82, man.
I'm scared of your dad. I respect and fear for your dad.
That's the only man that I answer to. Okay, you could, hashtag fingerprint and insert God or whatever the fuck. The only man I answer to is my dad. That's it. I have a tremendous amount of respect for my dad and my mother as well. But I've learned so much from him, and I'm like, I hope you live until 105 because I still got a lot to learn. But there's so many people that are so ungrateful. Like, they have parents, they have fun. Oh, F my parents, this, that, and the other. I don't give a shit about them. It's like, imagine not having them. When they're gone and they're not around, man, you're gonna be wishing that they were around. Or there's some people who don't have that parenting, and they don't have a father figure. Yeah, and they wanted it. How many people out there never knew their father that would love to have a relationship with their father, even for one fucking day? Crazy, man. Just there's stupid people from every generation. It's just these kids are dealing with some really dumb parents, and I can't.
Unfortunately, I know there's a lot of parents. I can't say all parents are this way, but definitely there is a lot of parents out there that I think overdo it. I get you want to protect your child. I'm never gonna say you shouldn't protect and support your kid. I am gonna say there is a fine line of saying, hey, your kid was in the wrong, and this adult was trying to protect his job, because flip side of this whole thing with the bus driver, if something else happens, they get hurt, it's still his ass. Yeah,
because even if you said, hey, you need to get in your seat, you need to sit down, somebody trips, falls, and breaks an arm, or some bad accident happens, it's still on the bus driver, which is ass backwards. That kid, and it's on the parents because that kid doesn't know how to listen clearly. And they hurt themselves. You cannot blame that on the bus driver. Now, he brake checking kids. He's 60-something years old. He comes from a different era. He handled it the way that he wanted to handle it. Do I think he should be reprimanded for that? No. Did anybody get hurt? Sit your ass down. You wouldn't have gotten hurt.
I think that they could have handled the situation. They could have handled the situation a lot better than that.
Yeah, he got fired. He's part-time at best.
And he's 61 years old. The man is retired at this point. He's just doing this so he's not lonely at home.
He probably
And
loved the
then
hell out of him, Gary.
I do have one other news, and then we're gonna jump into the one that you had.
Right.
This was actually reported. So, guys, I know we've been recording and posting a little bit after later on for you guys. This, by the time this actually posted, this was probably has been read already by some people, maybe if not. But I don't know if you know about this, but Jamie Foxx had collapsed on set early in the month.
I didn't hear about that. What's going on with Jamie?
So he was hospitalized. He was in the middle of a movie. And while he was filming, it's an action comedy called Back in Action. And while he was on set, he collapsed. And more reports. At first, they didn't really say what was going on. His daughter had went onto Instagram and put a story to like a little update on his health, and everyone's like, "Wait, what?" So a lot of people have been kind of like wishing him good prayers and good luck on his health and all this stuff. But there was no official word why he was being hospitalized. They just know that he was being hospitalized. He wasn't responsive, I think, the first couple of days. Then finally he started responding slowly, but he's been coming back to. And the report today, he's actually been full, like he's back to full go again. He looks like he's his old self. He's still in the hospital. He's still kind of being checked, but reports that came out were that he had a stroke on set, and they even had to revive him on set before the hospital, before the ambulance got there. On the report, there's still no word why he had this. He's 55 years old. And if you guys don't know who Jamie Foxx is, where the hell have you been at? This man has been in every movie, music, singing, multi-talented, comedy roles. He did stand-up. He's fantastic. He's been in the recent Spider-Man movies. He's been he was Ray Charles. He's played he did that movie Booty Call, which my parents didn't let me watch until I was like 18.
It's not that good.
It was amazing though, and like at the time it was like, whoa.
I think one of his best movies is just Ray. He tapped. Ray really was beautiful. He's a fantastic singer too. He's a beautiful voice. Oh yeah, I love a lot of his music. I've actually, if not all his albums, I've definitely loved at least. Well, I think he's dropped like 3 or 4, and he's a Grammy Award winner on his music too. So that's not even. So this man has done. He's a lot. He's one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites, and glad to see he's doing much better. Yes. But I was really blown away with that. I was really when I was reading that. That's terrible. That's terrible, man. Crazy. Well, what did you have? I know you said you had. I got a funny one for you, man. On lighter news, because we're gonna get into a topic today that's a little more political again. But so small town in Alaska. You know, the population is not too grand in Alaska as it is. So we're talking about a population of like 2,000-3,000 people. So they have a movie theater out there. If you don't know anything about Alaska, and it comes to the winter into spring months, you get a moose population that comes out. And moose get pretty damn big. And we're talking about a baby moose who was probably 7-8 feet in height, maybe 10 feet or more long, depending on the age of the moose. So he decides that he's gonna come check out a movie. He walked into the movie theater, went to the concession stand. Everybody's paused. It's kind of dead. You see the video. It's kind of dead. And the concession stand girl, she's there. She's like, you can tell that she's talking to somebody like way down the hall. And she's like, I can only imagine. She said, there's a moose in here. Big Anybody else see a moose? Dude. And he just comes in, he takes the line, like he followed the ribbon line. So like if he was actually going to the concession stand, he went to the garbage off to the side, he started eating some popcorn. Got himself on some salty snacks. And the funny thing is when he was finished with the popcorn, he took the line right back and opened the door and left. I'm like, this is not the first time that he's done this.
He's been to the movie theater more than once.
He's a regular. He's a regular on Tuesdays on the slow day. Like, you got any popcorn? I thought it was super cute. My wife had sent it to me. I was like, oh, that's a fun video, man. But the reason why I shared it is one, because it's funny as how you don't really hear about that. A moose went into the movie theater and ate some popcorn. Sounds like a terrible joke.
Sounds like a horrible joke that went down.
Yeah, horrible dad joke. But on top of that, I'm very much an advocate for animals. So I'm glad that they didn't, call anyone, try to, take the moose out or shoot him down.
It would have been another Harambe incident.
Yeah, the moose just wants popcorn. Give him some popcorn. Yeah, leave some popcorn outside for him next time. Yeah, him and the raccoons and stuff. They can get their fill, man. I'm cool.
I'm just surprised the little motherfucker got in.
It was a door that goes both ways.
Oh.
Yeah, so like you could open and push it. You could push and pull. So he pushed to get in. Took the line,
look,
like if he was a customer.
This.
Yeah. And you could smell the goodies from inside. Or the funny thing, he took the line, like if he was a customer. And he was like, you know what? I don't have any money. I'm just gonna raid your trash can for a second. Ooh, goodies.
Thing, man, moose are scary than we need to know, because moose first of all are
about
strong,
15 feet tall,
easily, and they can weigh I think close to 200 or 300 pounds, something like that. They say
200-300, man. That's a baby. A moose get up there.
So even
over 1,500 pounds,
and then they could swim.
Mm-hmm.
And not only can swim, they can go under the water kind of thing and swim.
Yeah. The only thing that might hold them back is like the males with their antlers. Like depending on how big their antlers are, but they could tread water.
That's crazy for me because those things decide, and they're scared of most people most times, but
they're very territorial.
Yeah, I was gonna say if they decide, nah, I'm just gonna kill it, and they can do it with just blinking. Like, oh, I killed it. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, especially mating season and stuff like that. I think it's the springtime for them. I'm not exactly sure, but like they get very, very vicious and territorial. So like they'll cross the street. She knows. She lives in Alaska. You see that? And she was probably the girl that was at the concession stand. She grew up and now moose.
She's like, what do I do?
Years ahead of time.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, but they get really territorial. They start hitting cars. They just take their frustration out. Anything. The best thing to do is just stay out of their way. I'm glad that I don't live up there, but I would love to live in like Alaska, Canada area.
I would like to go visit it. I'd like to come back.
I'm afraid if we do like the four of us, all four couples, and we head out to like Alaska in a cabin for a while, I'm afraid my ass ain't coming back. Like
100%. I think we'll lose you, and you like just snow your face up like you're. And look, guys, I got white skin now. I live here.
Man, I love the cold. I love white. No, just kidding. And I'm from the city, but I'm a country boy, man. I just like my solitude. As long as I have
an interesting country boy too.
I like the amenities of the city. Like everything is close, but I do not like city life. It's too many people. I don't like people. I don't like being around all of that. It not makes me nervous. I just don't prefer it. So if I'm out where it takes you a while and you got to know where I am in order to get to me, I love it. Because there's nothing unexpected in it. Well, it's a lower risk of something unexpected happening. I was gonna say soliciting and shit.
Have you seen some of the horror movies? They always are in a desolate area in like Texas.
Yeah, but this dumbasses never have any weapons with them. Like nothing can go wrong. I'm always got something on me. My hunting knife or my concealed carry. I got something.
Oh, God.
So if they got something, I got something. So if I'm living out in the remote, and I could see you coming and I don't recognize you, I'm about to get a bullet or something, an arrow or something.
Like that Dave Chappelle joke. It was like, oh, hey, I just need a gun to knock somebody out or kill somebody. Like, oh, okay, man, you need buckshot.
Buckshot?
He's like, He said, and you're also gonna need a little bit of birdshot too. Huh? Wait, but he said birdshot will pepper them up a little bit. Buckshot will kill them.
Yeah. All I got is buckshot. I don't need to season your ass. I don't need to sell. All I got is birdshot. All I got is buckshot.
Nah. I think in the joke he says, he goes, the combination to avoid a jail sentence was birdshot, buckshot, birdshot, buckshot. And he goes, and then after that, the gun's Jamaican. Buckshot, buckshot, buckshot.
Oh my god! Oh my shotgun doesn't know birdshot. It doesn't know what the tweet of a bird is. It only my gun is straight Jamaican.
Like, ooh, what is this? This is not my favorite.
My shotgun is still looking for his visa. He's straight Jamaican.
Oh,
he about to get married to that ass. Oh, don't try that. You go next door. There's a single woman living next door. Go over there. Don't come by me. You're about to get lit up. She probably got something out of there too. Don't come around here.
Don't come around these folks.
Yeah, but we take a trip to Alaska, man. I ain't coming back. I know that shit for sure. I know that for sure. Oh god. But yeah, dude.
What
topic of the night? 51 minutes.
Topic that we want to talk about, man. I don't know if you heard about this, because when I heard about this, I damn near cried.
You told me today. You got to fill me in, man. I heard when I tried to drive and research at the same time. It's not a good feeling. Fill me in.
Don Lemon, who's been with CNN for 17 years, was let go recently by CNN, which two things. A is that broke my heart. That was my dad's favorite. He loved.
Yeah, he's the face of CNN. Damn.
Yeah. And he was like, he gained so much ratings and so much backing around the time during Trump's presidency because he had a lot of things that he kept calling Trump out on, and a lot
He's very outspoken.
Very outspoken. He was very willing to bend the PC rating a little, just enough that he wouldn't get canceled, but just enough to get the people to look at him. And I think he did a great job.
Yeah.
And he was well known for his getting lit during the New Year's Eve parties. Because he has a whole compilation video of him getting skunk drunk and singing, and he's sitting there dropping like Bruno Mars bars. I love it. He is one of my favorites. I started watching because of my dad, and I couldn't help but stay kind of keeping in touch, like on track with everything he would do. And he actually even had his own show that CNN finally gave him. Yes. It was only like 6 months new. I think it was like CNN this morning, something like that, or something Morning America.
Sure the name. Yeah.
But it was his show, and right now speculation that he may have been let go due to a comment he said. I want to say in February. It was very misogynistic, but it wasn't like he said anything too outlandish. But it was just enough that certain people felt a certain type of way.
I hate that people's careers could be ended because of something you said.
And he apologized. That was the weirdest thing. He went and apologized for the comments. He's okay, my bad, and they even were putting him through this is where I thought it was stupid too, because then they even, not only was the comment he made was misogynistic, so he apologized, but then they were gonna put him in this like training program for like being more sensitive to like,
to women, I guess, misogyny.
Yeah, I guess
being more sensitive. I gotta hear it because I don't know. I mean, you filling me in right now. I gotta hear what this comment was, but most of the time I hear these comments and I'm like, okay, well, it hurt your feelings, but it wasn't anything that was like crazy to the point that this man has to lose his career.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
Do you know what the comment was?
I'm actually trying to look it up right now because I had it up earlier.
Right.
So bear with me for a second. Because
I
remember reading it saying, really? What was that?
He's not a very conservative person either. I mean, he has his viewpoints, but he's liberal. He's liberal as hell.
Yeah.
And I could only imagine what he said and the people that he panders to and kind of focuses his viewpoints towards are the ones who are probably canceling him out and saying that he is.
Yeah. So he
And
said,
the man's career.
okay, so this is what the comment was said. He said, it was something towards women, and it was about let me double check the exact. It was Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley. Said that she isn't in her prime, because she's 51 years old. Now he doubles down on the comment by stating that women are only considered to be in their prime in their 20s and 30s and maybe 40s. His co-anchor on there, Harlow, didn't agree with it. They actually had like a pretty heated debate on air, and then he ended up having to do an apology backstage because of the producers getting involved. But I don't think it was that bad of a statement, because realistically,
I don't see anything wrong with what he said.
say
Like,
men
what was
and
the
women.
consensus?
It was because Nikki Haley is gonna run for president. She's 51 years old.
Okay.
They didn't really state what led to that comment. They just kind of say that he makes a comment saying she isn't in her prime.
Okay.
And then goes to say that women, he doubled down by saying that women aren't in their prime, are only considered to be in their prime in their 20s, 30s, and maybe their 40s. So he's saying that she's past her prime. But to be fair, everybody after their 40s technically are like past their prime.
Men are in their prime between their 40s and 50s. Like once you hit 60, you're considered like your testosterone is depleted. You got to take this supplement and that supplement. Yeah, it's hard to keep up as a man. Like in your prime, it's like let's face it. When you're in your 20s and 30s and teenage years, like you're a dumbass, like anybody. But but as a man, like in your 40s and 50s is when you're at your prime. You're at your peak when it comes to physicality. You're at your peak when it comes to your mental state. Not in the sense of how strong you are physically, but what you utilize your body for.
Yeah.
You know, what is and isn't. Like you can lift the world, but why are you lifting it? In a sense that your 40s and 50s, you have an understanding of why. You're mature. Your maturity level is at its peak when you're in your 40s and 50s, at least for most. For women, when it comes to their prime is in their 20s and their 30s. Is that like women mature faster than men is a known fact. Yeah. Some women are not as smart as other men, and some men are not as smart as other women. But statistically speaking, women mature faster than men. It's biologically embedded in women to say, I need to be more mature because I am a giver of life. So they need to be mature in order to have that type of responsibility. Well, I don't know if Don Lemon was going in that direction. But I mean, bringing up her age is like she's not in her prime, 20s and 30s. I want to know what the substance of that came from, because he doesn't just say stupid shit like that, and he shouldn't have lost his job for saying something that's factual.
Now it's only speculation that that's why, because all the reports, there's really no reason, and he even doesn't know because he was told via his agent and a phone call. He wasn't even in person. So he stated in a conversation that he posted on Instagram that they didn't call him, nor did they even offer to sit down with him. They rebutted that recently, saying that no, they did offer it, he declined it. Instead, he decided to go into Twitter and Instagram and dropping his statement. So it's kind of like he said, she said right now. We won't know who's making the actual decision or whose decision was to not talk to each other. It could have been both sides of it. But what I was gonna say before that too is that, you know, in the comment of women being mature faster than men, remember back, and I'm saying back in like the medieval times, but women were having babies at 16, 15 years old.
Younger than that. They're getting married at 12. I mean, obviously that's illegal, but
I'm saying it's illegal now.
Had to mature.
But biologically, a lot of women were meant to age or be more mature than us guys. Guys were just slinging it around and knocking everybody up.
And most of those girls are getting married off to people who were above the age of 30s in their 40s and 50s.
So
is it right? No, but
and I would like to know more of the context. What was said? Like, why did that have to come into play? Was it something that they said Was it a comment maybe that she said that
Mhm.
maybe he thought, well, maybe she doesn't seem to be like that ready or in her prime
Yeah.
to do it or whatever the context was looking to be.
Yeah, and
There needs to be more.
right, more context to it.
Yeah.
I think, and judging by who he's talking about, Nikki Haley, I mean, stout Republican, very conservative. She's had her long list of laundry dumb shit that she said. Trying to run for president, failed. Tried for this office, that office, failed. It's just like, okay, what is the context? You know, piggybacking off of what you said, what is the context of that conversation? Of why it ultimately, I don't care what he said, is ultimately he lost his job.
Yeah.
And for
what triggered all of
something,
this?
he didn't call her any type of crazy ass names. He didn't insult her in the sense of like something that would be reprimandable of losing your job. This is a man's career.
And not only that, we had
hard to
President
build.
Trump who
He's the
said a lot of other
face.
things worse.
Dude, and he was still president. So like he's the face, if not one of the main faces of CNN, and you just let him go because somebody got their feelings hurt. Like I didn't know it was a crime to hurt somebody's feelings. It should be a crime for I cannot be able to say what I want within a margin that is not criminal, but if it go in that direction, it's like, okay, it's misogynistic, but okay. But if you don't like it, then just say you don't like it. If you like it, then okay, fine.
And it's only a viewpoint. It's not even saying like he says that everybody needs to believe this way. He's just saying a statement that, you know, scientifically may or may not be true, but it's just a viewpoint at the end of the day.
Exactly. Like we having this conversation right now. Who's gonna come on our channel and put in the comments, oh, you're being misogynistic? Okay, fine. But this is my viewpoint. This is Felix's viewpoint. This is your viewpoint. You can stay in the comments and you can say whatever you want. And we're honored that. We're acknowledged that you said that, but I do not have to respect it, and I do not have to follow it, and I'm not going to lose my job over it because I didn't say anything wrong. You didn't say anything wrong. The person in the comment section did not say anything wrong. Whatever happens is just having a conversation.
It's too
whether
much.
Everyone it be negative or positive. You have to. Oh, you made a misogynistic comment about Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley didn't say, "Hey, he should lose his job." Somebody else that has nothing to do with the conversation in a group of people or whatever, if they talk loud enough,
I think everybody's so worried now about the image. Everyone's like, oh my god, I don't want our station viewed as misogynistic, but you're okay with it being viewed as a leftist. You're okay with it being viewed liberal. As deep. Yep. And so what's the difference of it? Because you're deep liberal, you're viewed as a deep liberal. So now you're saying, whoa, we can't have this viewpoint said like this on air. It's like, it's just an idea. At the end of the day, everyone's allowed an opinion. Whether it's right or wrong, that's not my case to say. That's really because everybody's opinion is their opinion. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a hypocrite move because it's like you'll push a feminism outrage and movement, but when a man says something, he loses his job. What? Like he didn't say anything wrong. It's just his viewpoint. That's what he believes.
I think if it was on the other way around, I don't think men. I don't know. I don't think he is. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think he is.
I'm pretty sure Donald is gay. It doesn't matter. But like that, like even in that bubble of liberal, like let's say that he is. I don't know, but who cares? If he is, he is. It's not important. But let's say that he is. So a gay man can't say anything misogynistic to a woman. If that's not the most liberal comment, like that went conservative, just like far left, far right. Do that? Such a far left conversation went straight right, and it's like, who do you back up at that point? The person who's right or the person who's the loudest?
I don't know. I was really blown away with it because he's been a strong air presence for them. He has a really strong following for them.
Right.
To lose that, it's gonna be tough for them to bounce back. I feel like, because a lot of people love Don Lemon. A lot of people were outraged when CNN put this last New Year's. They said no drinking for all of the CNN people, and everyone's like, "But I want to see a drunk Don Lemon on stage."
That is my New Year's. Like, I need to see him drunk.
It's not a New Year's party unless Don Lemon is drunk on stage.
It's like, yeah, they're adults. I mean, you got to be professional at the same point. But damn, you talk about image, and then when somebody wants to speak their mind, they immediately get ridiculed. And it's like, okay, now I gotta shut my mouth to keep my job.
Freedom of speech isn't as free until it bothers somebody, apparently.
Yeah. If you affect the wrong type of people, it's wrong. And you do not have any freedom anymore. But
and
I
that's
could
the
talk
hard part
about Trump all damn day long and everything will be fine.
And that's the hardest part about it. I think everybody
Fuck
has this viewpoint that, oh, I can say what I want, but then when it's flipped on them, they're going, oh no, but you can't say that to me. That's wrong. Or you can't say that about this set of people. That's wrong. But you just said I can say whatever I want. It's just an opinion.
Right.
So I don't know. I just feel if that's the reason why they let him go, I think they're dead wrong for that. And I feel like CNN's gonna miss out on a lot of ratings because of this.
It's a damn shame. I don't watch CNN. I'm an MSNBC guy. I hope he goes over there.
I hope so too. But on the flip side of it, Tucker Carlson.
Oh no,
he was also fired on the same day Don Lemon. And this is the thing. There's another controversy because they don't know why he got fired either.
Oh Lord! I know that there were some recordings that came out from behind it, like off record. People were recording in secret, and he's bad mouthing Trump terribly. He's I can't stand this guy. He makes our channel look bad. I just said he works at Fox. If you guys don't know, and he's just like, I can't wait for this guy to go away. Why is he running again in 2024? Now we have to do all of this shit again. So it goes down to image, and that's messed up that he can't speak his mind on his platform. He's one of the biggest names on Fox News.
And here's the weirdest thing about it is
whatever he said, whatever he did,
he's been pro-Trump the entire time.
Because
because he has to be. And then once the cameras were off him, he's like, man, fuck this guy. Like, it's so interesting to see that, because my dad hated Tucker Carlson because it's like the epitome of being fake.
But you know what? Tucker Carlson hates Tucker Carlson too. He's like, if Tucker Carlson goes to CNN and John Lennon goes to MSNBC.
Oh God,
everything is all topsy-turvy.
I would lose it. I'm moving to Canada.
Fox at that point, they just hire Alex Jones. He's right up their alley. Gay frogs and bullshit.
I can't deal with it. Listen, man, I was blown away there right now. They're saying that on the report when he got fired, they said that Tucker Carlson isn't a team player, was uncontrollable, and they were like bad mouthing this guy. I'm like, man, this guy was for you this whole time. He was on your team.
Ball. That sounds 100%. Yeah, he didn't play ball.
Oh, and then now he also has a couple lawsuits. Also, if I'm correct,
Nancy Grayson. They're definitely they're the ball players. They go even what was this guy who used to be on there? If he's not O'Reilly, Bill.
Oh yeah, Bill. Shit, is it Bill O'Reilly?
I think Bill O'Reilly or Bill O'Reilly or something like that.
I know it's O'Reilly because I remember seeing him. I used to see him a lot.
Yeah, he's a newscaster. Very, very controversial, but he was right up Fox's alley. But then again, that's his opinion. You cannot fault somebody, even if you don't like it. You cannot fault them for having an opinion and just speaking their mind. It is not illegal to hurt someone's feelings.
What happened to the comment of "sticks and stones may break my bones"? Now apparently words hurt you.
I mean, words do hurt in a situation, but if you were watching a newscast, who's not even speaking to you, he's doing the news. And
they're having a conversation about the news. Like, it's a viewpoint. It's one viewpoint out of millions that people have. I don't know.
There's few topics that people just don't talk about because it's not worth it with certain people. It's like politics and religion are like the two top ones.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you can't handle that type of conversation, I don't want to be around you. If you can't have a mature conversation that takes you out of your comfort level, that we as friends cannot just have a mutual understanding and respect for each other's emotions and each other's viewpoints, but we don't have to hold our tongues and watch our mouths in the process, I don't fuck with you. I don't consider you a friend. I don't want to be around people who are that close-minded, who are that selfish. You don't like, you prefer everything to be in a straight line for yourself, so you stay safe.
Everybody has to agree with your statement, kind of thing.
Nah, I live on the turnpike. We take this conversation every single way, every direction. Every direction. I like
that's how this channel got created. Our channel was created because we could never agree with a lot of stuff. It started with movies, but it became that's your viewpoint. This is my viewpoint. This is where I stand. This is where you stand. And
that's
as much
why
as
you're
sometimes
one of my best friends.
Yeah, and it's sometimes there was a lot of times where it's like, fuck, man, he annoyed the hell out of me with this comment.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was your statement, and I'm sure I did vice versa. You was like, yo, this
of course,
right here.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're my brother, and I respect what you think. I don't care about your emotions, and you should not care about mine. At the end of the day, you are a man, I'm a man, it was a woman, whatever. Okay, but our opinions are our opinions. That's it. It's not illegal for you to hurt my feelings. You shouldn't give a shit about my feelings. They're my feelings. I should control them. Like, it's a conversation.
Yeah,
if you can't handle that, get out of my face. It's like when somebody says, "Hey, if you're not talking money, don't talk to me," because that's enough financial conversations. Some people do not even talk with their wives and their husbands about finance. They live in the same house. You can't speak about religion. You can't speak about politics. You got Democrats and Republicans living in the same house, can't talk to each other.
Yep,
it's disgusting.
It's so weird. I think we're all in this world. Has been too many people saying, "I'm right." No, I'm right. No, I'm right. It shouldn't even be that I'm right. It's just, this is where I stand. You can agree with it or not.
Yeah,
this is just my viewpoint.
Take it or leave it. For me, it's this is my viewpoint. That's your viewpoint. But at the end of the day, it's just a conversation. That's all we do. This is what this channel was built off. Our wives are like, "Wow, you guys are bickering. You might as well film it."
100%.
31 people watch our Trump video, or 34 or whatever, man, because it's compelling. It's just us being raw. That's what we were. No raw editing, no cuts, no this, no that, no bullshit. We're talking. It's rated F, raw.
Bye bye.
Take it or leave it. All
right, guys. So put in the comments. Let us know what you guys think about everything we've talked about today. If you've seen the last video, you're gonna definitely see that we've been interacting with a lot of people. So maybe got some things coming up in the horizon. We'd love to get more conversations going on. So next time though, right, Robbie?
Yeah, man. Next time, let's see it.